Hello, all my crafty people out there. It is time for our weekly project. If you have not been here before, my name is Stephanie and I upcycle clothing, generally things I thrift from my local stores here, and we either make new clothing or accessories. And this week is no exception. I had a project not too long ago that I used the top of these jeans for, and this particular pair has a 32-inch inseam, so I've got plenty of fabric left for this little project, and I probably won't even need a whole leg. So plenty of jean fabric there. We have plenty of projects in that thing. And then some purple cotton fabric that I'm going to use in the project. And what we're going to be making is the core belt bag. Core Fabrics has a few free patterns on their website, and this is one of them. This is a crossbody bag, or it can be worn as a fanny pack. And it's that crescent shape bag with the zipper. And I thought we would make it for a friend of mine, Melinda. I hope you enjoy this. I know that when we ran into each other the other day, you asked about this. And so I'm going to be doing this for my friend Melinda, who I have known for a very long time and have enjoyed playing pool with for years. So I hope everybody has a good time with this, though. It's a great project for the weekend. Should be pretty fast and easy. If you would like to see how it comes out, please like, follow along, and don't forget to subscribe. And I will catch y'all at the table. Okay, everybody, I have gathered my supplies, or at least I think all the things I'm going to need, other than pens and marking pens, that kind of thing. So this is 2 yards of black webbing, 1.5 inch, that goes with our 1.5 inch D-ring, our clip, the swivel hook clip, and a slider. I've got more than I need. I haven't opened the packages. I'll only need one of each of these. And I have this, I believe it's 22-inch, but I only need about 16 inches for a zipper. And this one happens to be rainbow, which I just thought was cool. So it's got a bigger pull than your standard zipper. It's meant for a little heavier duty action. So I hope this will work. It is plastic. It's not metal, but that's my zipper. And of course, you've already seen my lining fabric and the jeans I'm going to use for the exterior of the bag. Here is my pattern pieces cut out. I am not going to concern myself with an interior pocket. I don't like the size of the one that they have. I would probably make it bigger, but I know that they're trying to meet the size. The smaller bag, it works, but it needs to be a little bigger for this one. So this is all my pieces. What I'm going to do is lay out my jean fabric and show y'all how the pattern fits on it. And we'll start cutting. The first thing we need to do is take our zipper and start attaching it. This is obviously the right side because it's got the pretty rainbow zipper you see along with the tab. So we're going to turn it down and put it right sides together with our top, and this is the front of the bag. We're going to go sew down and put these two together, and it's going to be a 1/2 inch seam allowance. You could use a zipper foot if you want, but you just want to make sure you keep that 1/2 inch. And this has a pretty wide tape. Okay, I have stitched the zipper with it right sides facing together. And now we're going to do the lining. And the instructions are interesting. Now they want you to sandwich that zipper between these two with it still facing the same way. So this is the wrong side of the zipper and the right side of the lining fabric. And they want you to sandwich it up here. Now, that's perfectly fine. And if you're more comfortable doing it one piece at a time, that works too. I probably, if I had paid closer attention to what I was doing with the instructions, I would have done this particular step all together and just sandwiched the zipper in between these two pieces from the get-go. But it serves as a good way to secure that zipper without worrying about it slipping or anything like that while you're sewing the first layer. So it's a half dozen one way or the other. It's really more of how comfortable you feel about that situation. So now we'll sew the top with the lining facing the front of the bag like this. And again, we're using a 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna keep that zipper foot on because I got to get really close to that zipper. Now we're just going to top stitch those. We've turned the lining into the bag, and we're just going to top stitch along that zipper to keep it nice and clean and sharp. Okay, we've got our bottom half of the front done. Now we need to put the top half. And remember, this bag's going to bow like this in order to give it the depth we need to put stuff in it. So we're not sewing it together like this. We're sewing it together like this with the round side or the curved side going to the straight side. I've marked the center of all 3 of our pieces. So I'm just going to start here with one of the centers and pin it down. Now, here's the same scenario as the bottom. If you wanted to, you could put all 3 of them together at once, sew it one time, and be done with it. That's completely up to you. I'm going to go ahead and take it one at a time just because I want to make sure this curve doesn't get away from me, because it can. The more pins you can put in this, probably the better, just because it is a fair good curve. But you're just going to attach these like this. The only thing about a lot of pins is, of course, it's a lot of pins to take out while you're sewing. Now, these glass head pins are generally thin enough where you can go over them. You're not going to break a needle, but I try not to. So once you get all of this pinned on, and you pin it on like this with the curve to the straight edge of the zipper, then you'll do the exact same thing to the back, just like you did the bottom. So when we finish stitching this, we'll do this, and we will meet the curve again all the way across. And then when we turn them both out, both of them will have the lining facing properly. Okay, we have the front almost assembled. We need to assemble the sides to the front with the lining. And in order to do that first, I want to mark this zipper. And I just want to make sure that it's secure, because we're going to have it open. So I'm going to go over, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to sew across that line to make sure that that stays there. Be very careful sewing across your teeth. These are plastic, so it shouldn't be too bad, and I should be able to get right in between those, but that's just the nature of sewing over the zipper end. But I will open it up, sew across that line, and then I will be leaving this open so we can attach our sides. This will be the way we turn it inside out. So let me go, and all we're going to do, this is going to be kind of tricky. We're going to attach the front like this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to attach each of the front to the front right sides together. And we are not catching this lining, okay? This lining has to be pulled out because we're going to attach the lining piece separately. So this would be the way the front is attached, and it has that hole for the zipper. And then we would go to the other side and take one of our fronts here, our inside lining piece, and we'll attach it as well. It's going to be a little tricky. We'll have to skip over the zipper part and leave it open so it'll look like kind of like an X. You can barely see that with the zipper in front, but it'll look like an X. And we're just that way we'll have the lining attached and the front attached, but we will not be interfering with that zipper, so we can turn it inside out. Now we got both the sides on, so they're sewn on like this. And again, they're not sewn over the zipper yet, which will happen when we pull these out together like this. And we're going to do a top stitch essentially down that seam. And that will catch both the front and the back, you know, the lining and the front. But the first thing we need to do is clip these zipper ends off. So be brave. Grab the good old scissors and snip off the excess zipper because we don't need it. Now, if you wanted to use a shorter zipper, which I wish I had, that would be smart. Okay, we've got the sides on, both the lining and the front piece, the facing, I guess I should call it. So now we're going to go ahead and start our straps, because they have to be inside the bag when we sew it all together. So we're going to sew the majority of our 2 yards right here. And remember, don't ask me why I'm emphasizing this, do not attach the lining to this webbing. Only the front of the bag needs to be attached to the webbing. And the webbing needs to go right in this corner where the fabric turns to the bottom of the pocket. So we're going to put a little clip on that. We will go sew that down. And you can sew within the seam allowance because it's going to get caught when we sew it all together. And I've put a rubber band around all of it because this will be inside while we're sewing it. And this will hold the D-ring. It's about 2.5 inches. They call for 2 inches. I like a little more. And again, attaching it only to the front, right there where the fabric turns for the bottom of the bag. And before you pinch it, of course, put your D-ring on. Otherwise, it's not going to go on. And just pinch it here. And put your little clip on there too. And then go over. And again, I'm going to sew both of these down only to the front. And then we'll be attaching the front and, the back lining and the back facing. Okay, from here we're going to attach the back of the bag. This is the outside of the bag facing right sides together. And we're going to completely enclose from one side all the way down and up to the other side. We will not be closing the top, just the curve of the bag and the sides. And we will do the same thing with the facing. We will do all the way around, except we're going to leave our hole down here, about a 4-inch hole, for turning. And then we'll go up. Again, down the side, down the curve, leave a 4-inch hole, go back up the side. We're still leaving this top open because that will all be sewn together at the same time. Okay, we have our lining sewn together with our hole left for turning. That might not be a full 4 inches, but you know what I mean. And I may have had to unplug it because I forgot to leave it. We won't talk about that. And the front and the back are sewn together completely. Now we're going to sew across this entire top. And we're just going to make sure every piece is lining up. The facing and the the lining and the outside. So just making sure they line up, and then we'll sew one big stitch across the top, turn it inside out, and we'll start working on our hardware. This is a really neat way of enclosing all of your seams. I've never made a bag quite like this, so kudos for that process. All right, corners. Cut this down a bit. Corner here. This down a bit. It's got the zipper in it, and what's left of the zipper and that webbing, so it's pretty thick. And I think that's good. I'm not worried too much about these. Maybe I can run the pinking shears over those. Alright, this is the true test, right? To see if we can turn it. It's going to be a challenge. Alright, slowly but surely. Alright, now we've got it all out in the lining. Now we've got to open the zipper up, which we left open, thank goodness, so we can finish turning out all the rest of it. Like I said, that's a very unique way of encasing all of your seams. But there's no seams inside. The only thing that we're going to have to do is close up the little opening we use to turn it. And that's pretty normal, but there's no seams inside. So that's pretty cool. Alright. I'm going to run the, wherever that thing is, there it is. Just make sure we kind of push out the seams. Alright, now what we gotta do, put on our hardware to connect these two ends, and we will have a bag made. I'm super excited. Okay, let me go get the hardware. Okay, time to apply the last of our hardware. We already have our D-ring over here. Now make sure that your strap is facing all the right way. So I kind of folded it up. It's a lot of strap. You may not need this much, but I guess if you're going to wear it a crossbody, you really do want it long. And this will also make it adjustable. So we're going to take our slider ring. We're going to put it in like this. Right here. And we're going to put it down like that. So that's our first slide. We're going to come back and go back through that slide again. We're going to put our hook. Actually going to put it, well, it won't matter, it swivels. So it'll swivel and it's going to hook directly to our D-ring. So we'll leave that over there. Help us keep it straight. Going to pull us some extra strap. And then I'm going to pull this strap up in our slider so I can push this one, push the end back up underneath the slider. Again, through the ring there. And I'm going to pull it up. And this is why I've pulled it up so much. Now I'm going to push it back down. So it is in there twice. So you can see, I'm going to pull it this way so you can see. See, it's in there twice. So we're going to pull it down. I'm going to pull this down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to secure the end down here. Now they want 1.25 inches. We can do that. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're comfortable with. Because once you secure this part down, essentially to keep it from raveling, we're going to push it down and secure it to the end that we just pulled through, the bottom half. Okay? Okay, all my crafty people. Oh, there we are. I finished our little crossbody bag. It turned out super cute. It's got a very long strap. 2 yards is a long strap. You don't need this much, then cut it down. You could wear it long, like this. Now, if you wanted to wear it as a fanny pack, you definitely have to cut it down. But you could wear it long. Some people like to wear them on their back, like that. I personally, I like mine up close with the, with crowds and stuff like that when you're at the craft show or festival of any kind. So I would cinch mine up like this and wear it like this. Now, depending on your orientation, whether you're left-handed, right-handed, that might determine how you put the zipper in, where you put the hook. I could have put that in the back. But this way is easy for me to unzip and zip back. So I like this. I hope that my friend Melinda likes it. I will see you soon, dear, to get this to you. So if you had a good time, if you want to like, subscribe, let me know what you think. And I'm going to catch you all on the flip side of our next project.